Hey everybody, it's Kulipup here, and I'm coming at you with another video. This video is going to be about your personality and how it changes as you raise frequency. Because, and this is, well, I'm bringing this on just because I raise frequency quite often. It's kind of like, it'll go in smaller stages and then I'll have an epiphany and then it's like, whoosh, bang, it raises right up. And with each frequency raise, especially in a large chunk, my personality gets a little different each time. And I wanted to make this video so that people going through this change in their personality, they don't get freaking freaked out about it. Okay? And just understand that what's happening is, let me take these off. What's happening is literally a normal process of becoming who you truly are. So, what can you actually expect? Now, one of the main things, one of the first things you have to appreciate is that your personality doesn't really start changing until you lose your ego entirely. So what I mean by losing your ego is that you have come to the conclusion that you are not who you were born into being. So the name on your birth certificate is not really your true name. That is what I mean by when you've dropped your ego. And when you've dropped your ego, or when your ego is completely dead, and you're just like, nope, doesn't exist anymore. For one part of your personality that'll change is you'll no doubt, it'll feel really weird to be called by your birth name or the name on your birth certificate. It'll just be like weird. It would be, if my name was Mary, and that was what I was born into, and that's what I was raised as, everybody called me Mary. When you come into your name, like mine is Kulipup, I think I know why, and so on. It feels really weird being called Mary. Really, really, really weird. You might as well call me Jacob, or John, or Rebecca, or something else, because I wouldn't know. Even if you were to call me, if you were to shout out my birth name on the street and I was standing there, I probably wouldn't be like, I'd be like, you would have to try to get my attention some way out. But if you were to go like Clip or Kulipup, I'd be like, yeah, what's up? Because that's my name. That's who I am. So yes, again, expect to feel really weird when you're called by your birth name. But don't worry, it's absolutely fine. It'll just feel a little odd. Like, why are you calling me that? That's not my name. But anyway. Oh, by the way, this switchover normally happens when you have achieved frequency level 12. Now, unless you've had a boost of energy from another individual who has a higher frequency than you and who is building you up, normally you'd have to go through the process, and when you reach level 12, that's when you're dropping your ego entirely. You can drop your ego much earlier as well, but normally around level 12 that the personality changes really start to get in there, or at least when you've conquered your subconscious and conscious mind and emotional body. All right, so the next thing that you can expect is, now this one's really, really weird, okay, when it comes to the personality. Your spirit is technically genderless. There is no man or woman as spirit. And just the same way, like, here in our bodies, I'm a woman, I'm a female. And I was born a female, and that's basically what has been assigned to me. Unless I go through gender reassignment, I am literally a woman. And I will stay that way. I cannot switch by just the will of my own mind and grow some extra bits down there. I can't do that. However, your spirit, though, is genderless and can switch between male and female energy as, I don't want to say as they see fit, but it's as the circumstance comes into play. So, for example, if I, myself, am in my female energy, I'm in my nurturing kind of zone, my spirit will be female. However, if I am in a creative form of energy, using that creator energy, That is more of a male energy. So then my spirit is going to take on a male form. Now that's if you've gotten complete balance and so forth. Genuinely, if you have your spirit there, they will, until you've progressed and really done all the inner work and all that jazz to completely balance out your energies, you're going to be a percentage more in the male or female range. Okay, so for example, my spirit, when I was lower frequency, even as a spirit lower frequency, I was male. I took on more male energy, and that is because I was one of the first twin souls, or the first twin soul, to be created. So with that, my twin and I, we were the first sons. Right? We were the first son, and then we were split into two. Now, because we were both in our male energy at that point, we both took on male forms, and that is how we stayed, because we needed to do the work as a soul, go through many incarnations in order to develop our female energy, or bring that part out of us, or find that balance. So anyway, so this is the funny thing. So when I raised in frequency, when I hit level 12 and I finally completely dropped my ego was dead at that point. When I did that, it was funny because my twin, who is my husband in this life, clearly I'm a woman and he is a man, and I love him dearly, but I recognized him for who he was, which was my brother. So, of course, I'm like, I have boobs, I have a vajayjay, you're my husband, but you're also my brother. But clearly in this life, he's not my brother. Like, we weren't born from the same parents or anything like that. But in our consciousness, he's my brother. So you can imagine how odd that was, going from I love you, babe, snuggles and kisses, to hey, bro. So that was really, really weird. Don't get me wrong. I had to get through these feelings, because when you raise and then you look at your other half and you're just like, I want to hang out with you. I want to shoot the shit with you because you're my brother, and I know our history. I know what we've done as souls. I know what we have experienced together. I know your personality, and I know you as my brother. So that was really, really odd. But as I raised frequency, because I knew, I'm like, okay, this isn't going to work. I can't go through the rest of my life looking at you like you're my brother, because clearly I have needs. And this isn't going to work. So I raised frequency, and eventually I found my balance. I was able to find my balance and then switch it into more female energy, which I found that. And I'm like, oh, thank you. Now I could look at you as my husband again and understand that, because I am female and you're male. So you prepare yourself for that. If you are already a female and you find that female balance and your spirit is female, then you'll have no problem. If you're already male and you have a male spirit, then you'll have no problem. But imagine being a male and having more of a female or feminine side of your spirit, and then in your mind you're a female when you've been a straight male all of this time. It's really, really, really odd. Or being a straight female and then being a dude in your head. But that's why you do inner work. Find that balance. Anyway, so the next thing that can change is your voice can change, and your vocal ability. My voice wasn't always this deep. It has dropped an octave or so since my waking up. And that was a little bit weird, because when I first got there, I'm like, hey babe, is my voice a little deeper? Do I sound like a dude? Because I feel like this is really, really odd. My voice has never been this deep before, and it has this little kind of tone to it as well. I found my vocal abilities in terms of singing. It was clearer. I could sing it. I could hold the tune. I was like, hey, what's happening here? So that was really cool. So yeah, your voice may change. It may go up, it may go down, or it may stay the same, but it's a possibility that it would change, and don't worry too much about it. Next thing that I noticed in terms of personality differences is the change in my speech and my vocabulary as well. Now, I'm not, this body, this vessel isn't that old. I'm only 32 right now, today. I'm 32. But during this whole process of waking up, you know, I was just like, I never used to use old-fashioned phrases. But okay, so give you an example. My ego was very, very bubbly, very, very bright, very much so, hey, everybody, how you doing? Glass is always half full and just like, you know, really high energy that way, giving a lot out. Never wanting to offend anybody, never wanting to rock the boat or do anything like that. So very, very bubbly, very optimistic. And I used a lot of regular terms and phrases, as many people do now, you know, who are in their early 30s or late 20s. However, what I found though is, when I came into my consciousness, I would call people dear. It was like a switch. All of a sudden, I called people dear. And it doesn't matter how old you were. I kind of spoke to you as if you were younger than me. And it's because technically, yeah, you are. Everyone is younger than me. And I don't need to be rude with that. But conscious-wise, you're all babies. I'm sorry, you're all babies. So I tend to say, oh dear, you're okay. You're all right, kiddo. I don't care if you're 70 years old, you're a 70-year-old woman or an 80-year-old man. I'll call you kiddo. Because I'm speaking to your consciousness, not your body, not your vessel. So my vocabulary did change. I'd call people dear. I'd say kiddo. I'd say, you know, like, oh, it's all right, Chuck, you know, those kind of things, which I suppose can come across as very condescending, which I apologize for that part. However, this is part of the personality change, and it's very difficult to turn that part off, if that makes sense. The next thing you may find is that you're a change in your skill set when you wake up. I used to be very, very skilled with my hands. And I will say, when I was in my ego, I was a hairdresser or a hair extensions specialist. I would do, I'd work with cancer patients, people looking for wigs and this stuff, and kind of get them fitted up, and just generally anybody who wanted to get their hair done. Now, when I was in my ego, I was actually very, very good at this. Really, really good. Like, I look back at the work I did and I'm like, wow, that was really, really well done. Holy shit. I can't do hair now. Kulipup Noah does not do hair. I mean, I physically changed. It's almost like the knowledge of how the muscle memory of my fingers or whatnot when I'm doing hair is gone. I don't have it anymore. But my cognizance is fabulous. My critical thinking, my way of approaching life and my perspective, and these skills have come out. The way I can speak to an audience has definitely improved. I can do so many more things as a teacher. But literally, as I woke up, the ability to physically do what I was doing for so many years just all up and vanished from me. And I'm like, even if I were to try, I'd be like, holy shit, what am I supposed to do here? Like, I don't stick that there and braid this here and there. That'll do, voila. So it was very, very weird. Not having a certain skill set that you've had for so very long just kind of leave you almost in a blink of an eye. Really odd. sense of style changed. I used to, again, because I was a hairdresser, I used to do so much with my own hair and have long hair, short hair, this, that, and that, all styles and everything. Now I'm just like, I have it in a bun or I wear it down. That's all I do because I could care less. It's just hair to me. And this is practical. So it's a sense of, my sense of dress. I used to like to be quite hip and quite, you know, like a little trendy and everything like that. Oh, let's accessorize. Let's have this and that. Nope. I wear a sweatshirt and yoga pants most days. Because I'm comfortable. I don't really care. So that's something. You can expect that certain foods will change. Certain things that you may have loved before, you just cannot stand now. Or you're just like, man, I don't really care about it anymore. Because it all changes, right? Another thing that you may find is that you simply don't, your goals change. Things that you may have been so passionate about before, you're probably just like, it's not important anymore. Because as you become your spirit, as you become who you truly are, you follow your purpose, you follow your life's purpose. So things that may have been really, really important in this material world, in this day-to-day activities, may just be like, I just don't care. That can also cause a little bit of conflict or, no conflict with people around you, because as you shed your ego, you're kind of a new person. You're an evolved individual. You don't care about the same stuff that you cared about before, so you may find that relationships will break down. Myself, specifically, I found that when I was in my ego and I was this very, very, very bubbly individual, very bubbly. As I came into myself, I'm like, I'm a teacher. And I became a little bit cynical. just a pinch cynical. And I became the kind of individual I was when I was a kid, when I was more in myself, because children are more true to who they are in terms of their spirit. It's not until they grow into adults and they've been programmed to behave a certain way and think a certain way that they are more in their ego. But when I was a child, I was very, very blunt, almost to the point of being rude, because I was so very honest. If you ask me a question, I don't answer, and I wouldn't really care what the answer was. It was just truthful. So I would just answer it. So I always say, like, if you would have asked me as a kid, hey, do you think I look fat in these jeans? If you look fat in those jeans, I'd be like, yep. Straight face, doesn't like, yeah, you did. You do. And of course, that meant I wasn't very popular. So that is who I've become more of, that blunt person that will just give you the information you need and won't bat an eyelid or really care what it is, how it's going to make you feel, as long as it is the truth. But I do care how you feel, I do, but I'm more concerned about giving you a truthful answer. So, again, that makes me sound like a horrible person, but at the end of the day, I don't really care, because it's the truth. Oh gosh, I am not advertising myself very well right now. But anyway, so I've been speaking for near enough 20 minutes. But I just thought that that's something that you can expect. So don't be afraid if you all of a sudden have odd thoughts about, like, am I a man or a woman? I don't know. Just keep raising frequency. It'll sort itself out, I promise you. Your speech is going to change. If you start speaking like an old woman, like I did, then that's absolutely fine, because it's better to be old and wise. Then I don't want to say than young and dumb, but it's better to be old and wise and be who you truly are than try to pretend you're anything else. If your goals change, let them change. If your skill sets change, embrace your new skills. Embrace who you are. Embrace that. That's basically all I'm trying to say, is that if your personality changes, don't be scared of it. Embrace it. Took me 20 minutes to say that. All right, that is it from me. Bye-bye, my loves.